Okay. I think I got it working this time. Maybe. I don't know what the hell happened. My frame rate just was horrible. Dropped frames and everything. I think I had the settings all set up wrong. Alright, I think I got it fixed now. Alright. Not happy game. I don't know, I gotta edit something in the title. It's being dumb again. Oh, I restarted, that's why. None of this is, none of my tags are right. Everything's wrong. Sorry, this is just bad. Alright. Updated information. God damn it. I never ever claimed to know what the frick I'm doing, okay? I'm just doing what I can. Alright. She was talking.
Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
Yeah, my settings were too high. I screwed up. That's alright. It's doing fine now. I haven't done this on YouTube in a long time, so the settings were off.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there? Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home. My realm with my
For showing me the day's light will shine again.
Oh, do not look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant! There's no freedom in that!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Spirited accounts always comes in low.
We did everything right! Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this!
Everything you've been through so far in the game.
Your time has not yet come.
Interesting. That looks like the one warrior.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Rare to meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night? Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me granddad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply. Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it. Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then. Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
Place up here. Yeah, let's go. Oh, you can't mount yet. Okay. One.
Halt! Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions. From where do you hail?
Shit. I want to say the source.
The source? What is this cryptic nonsense? Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin, but instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass.
Ask me one freaking question.
That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Aww. He's dead already?
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort him to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known. Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Alright, be right back. No, I'll be right back when this cutscene's over. Dang it, I gotta be.
Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons.
Okay, now I'll be right back. I remember to hit mute. Okay.
I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you were still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions. That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago. By this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost. And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was once such monstrosity. It was to save the First from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes. Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try, for in saving the First, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
I can barely hear him talk half the time. If I get a chance to change it.
Such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
Oh, one. Okay. Let me adjust. Really? Background. Okay. Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright. What did I get? Hold on, I got something. Okay. Ah. Of course it'd be something that's better than what I got. Always. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, keep it. Change all my gear now. After all the trouble I went through. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium's civic leaders who glean something of this world in particular. See, I heard the story they're in Heaven's Ward. The heroes. Okay. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the 8th rate, a convenience which I am sure you are all going to know. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should, in theory, be able to reach all the way back in your ethereal trail and find a connection to the source. Believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you're done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the Crystal Mean. This is where you'll find our collective crafters, gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Caitlus. One of the people I should like you to meet. Now there is more. To reach him in his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to large doors at the end of the path. See, this is neat. They're showing you where to go before they just say it. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Braggy, our man in charge of trade and distribution. Bleh. Is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple. Crystal clear. Very good. I can see the layout of the necessity of planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. As I'm probably going to be stuck here for a while. In all honesty, a true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during the encounter with Catherine, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. Great. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal XIV. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you finish making your rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard in the center of town. Until then. Okay, as I was about to say before they continue talking, during Heaven's Ward, you run into the Warrior of Darkness, which was the Warrior of Light, as well as others, Fighters of the Light, on this world. And their world was consumed by light. And they were trying to balance it out by destroying another one, to bring balance by darkness and light. So I have a feeling we're going to run into him again, and he was probably that shadowy figure I saw at the beginning. It's in this part of the stream. Fun. Your background noise is my animals. Merchant Mender. Nope, blacksmith. Nope. It's Richard. Attuned to everything to quickly go. Wherever it is. Caitlus. But not here. I'm going to guess you're not from. You're new to. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The XR can throw up a barrier and the Seniors come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized too. Thanks to us and the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which makes city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Ooh, kettle. Just don't go thinking it'll be handed to you on a plate like those Ilmorum layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Okay. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor,
Made me mess with marshals.
You don't have the width of indulgence about like some folk I met. Still can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? I'm from someplace else. One of the Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him. And any friend of his is a friend of ours. Except for that guy up there. Really? It's really quite incredible. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you've taught who to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask Katniss, and I'll find you a niche here in the crystalline mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Life in the crystalline. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go and talk to somebody else. Boarding note. That. Buzz. Okay, that was neat. Alright, so next place to go. Okay.
Big city.
It's just like, why would you make something that's like 10 times your size? Why would you jump on that and break your legs? Excuse me if I'm just rambling, but you gotta keep your mind going on something, right? See, the screen catching up like that, it means I clicked off of it or something. Alright. Trivia. Oop, chart. Oh, whatever, that was upstairs. Alright. Melboth. Sounds like a boss. Good. Big ass doors for each of us. Rakish! I'm looking for what am I looking for again? Morin! Oh, he's upstairs. Pivot. There he is. Morin! Where's that sheet? Excuse me, sir. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and what... Well, Who the f*** are you? Okay, it is a guy. Well, what I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll? Anything? A scrap on parchment? I need to read! My apologies. I'm sure something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service. And this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. Looks like you got a shit ton of books here there, Morin. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles miracles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and man wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to cabinet today? And for any title in particular, I have a spot of academic research. Actually, I'm just here to find out what the fuck is going on. Oh, so you've an interest in modern history. Splendid! A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany an account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, and I'll fetch it for you. Yeah, this is the voice I'm going with on this guy. It's got to be creepy. You know, librarians and historians are a little creepy. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable. On with the lesson then. What? Oh. Hey, Skimmertar. 100 years ago, or near enough, no, not the matter. Villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. Wait, what? They're calling the Warriors of Light the bad guys in this one? In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pulled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous, blinding light wave rose up and swept across the star. We call this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached in life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Warriors of Light in this world are bad guys. We've seen her. Yet just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light, she stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrant, and Norvrant alone spared the fate of erasure. Hey, I'm just reading. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from the rent sky. I am guessing on the name of this city, Skirmitar. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it to you. You see, look at this dude's face. Does he not look like he should have a creepy voice? Or if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of company. Yeah, she just taught you about the blood of life. Yeah, about that. I'm good. Can't run away fast enough when you got something like that. Yeah, exactly. I've actually been able to play this expansion, this part of the game for a while. I wanted to get it at a proper time to either record or stream it, and this really was the best time to do it right now. I got like a couple of days, at least today and tomorrow, and at this time to stream it because there's no one in here but me. With my car being a piece of junk, I can't go anywhere until my wife gets home. When she gets home, the boys will be home. Hold on. I'll adjust that. How's that? Is that better? I turned my settings down. Oh, let me turn my voice up. Just a touch. I didn't want it to go too high and be in the yellow all the time. Okay.
New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Welcome. My name is Braggy, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the district another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid for my half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment from humus, such as yourself. Oh, for humus. Yeah. So finding something your size shouldn't be a problem. Aye, something strong, something wrong.
Oh, it's Linden? Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us. The shorter one is a Humi, like you. The tall one is an elf. They're called different on our world. That sturdy individual over there is a Galgant, whilst the one with the horns is a Drawn. And then you have the large, scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zun. Different world, different names. Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Crystal Eckhart area. Ah, the same as the Eckhart. Well, that explains it. Weirdo. You don't get much further flung in that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry. Should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's midnight. What time is it for you right now, Skirmitar? This way. Well, yeah, because it's like 1:22 p.m. for me. I'm gonna try and get some more streaming time in this afternoon for a little bit until I either get another car or something else. How did you fare? Did my colleagues help you clear picture of the world and its people? Hand over, hand over, hand over. Seems you were treated to the most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may... No, it keeps overheating. My car keeps overheating. I can't drive it for very long, and then it starts overheating, and then freaking antifreeze starts boiling over. And I don't know what's wrong. I thought maybe it was a radiator fan or something else, but I haven't really looked at it too much. I got my dad to look at it a little bit. He says one time the fan did come on, so I don't know if it's something else. I've had the heater on the whole time, and it still would just screw up.
As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may not have noted the details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the self-same one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing, and although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Wait, that's it. Weaker than what I got. Still weaker than what I got? Alright. Hold on a second. I'll accept that for right now. You've done as I requested and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time I fulfilled my half of the bargain and explain what has befallen your comrades. That is a conversation I'd rather have in the privacy of my quarters. However, I must go ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the guard knows to admit you. Always a delay. Yeah. Well, yes, of course, it can be open and closed just like any other. Does that seem strange to you? I know not how the tower functioned in your time, but I assure you there is no danger of us being locked inside. Ours is buried. Yeah, I'm gonna look at my car here within a couple of days, and I don't have any money to get it fixed, especially with the holiday coming up. There was this conversation with NPCs. Can you tell us a few sentences about this game? Yeah, let's see. There's a lot going on because this is the expansion I'm in right now is the third one. The newest one just came out like a week and a half ago.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private
They're talking.
study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind. Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow scions. To put it simply, they are here in the first. Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the first, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence, and thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time. As for your companions, however, Y'shtola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5. Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the first for almost a year. My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well.
And the thing is, this guy never answered. My character doesn't talk. All he does is like nod or strange gestures or anything. He has no speaking parts.
As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch.
Tancred's naked again.
Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return.
Send them back. Shit.
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future, that which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the first was rejoined with the source. This collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes. Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die.
Well, shit.
And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home.
It is beautiful.
Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
Nod. For the moment.
Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
Yeah, it is very beautiful artwork. I mean, it's gotten like better and better. In the beginning, what was it? I was watching a video by Az from Heel vs. Babyface. He was comparing World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, and Elder Scrolls Online, and he still gave this a pretty high score. This was before this expansion, but at the time he was also saying it was kind of like a lot of grays and everything, but they have added a lot of colors to it. Okay, like I was saying earlier, this is like the 3rd expansion of the game so far. The 4th one just came out, and there's a lot of stuff going on that happened involving like the first expansion, which was Heaven's Ward, and like the Warriors of Light came from this world, which is a group that is similar to my character, and they were trying to save their world from the light because they killed off all the Ascians who were trying to bring about a restoration with their dark god. And once they got into contact with the source again, she was able to convince them that she would do everything she can to try and save their world, which is probably this part right here. Which is me saving them. But, yeah. Okay. Trying to pass the number of residential districts, but I have been informed that a room has just become available at Dependence, which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path there will take us to the markets. And I was hoping to give you my own introduction to their wares. Okay, yay. Yeah, you disappear and I just run wherever. Oh yeah, about the nodding. Dude, if I was any good at editing and stuff, I would just have like a quick rock video of just everybody headbanging, because they nod a shit ton in this game. Everybody nods. It's freaking hilarious. Well, it is an MMO. It does. That was always something. When my first MMO was actually Final Fantasy XI. I was into the Final Fantasy games a lot. And my first time playing WoW, I was looking at it, it's like, that's just kind of cartoony. Because look, the character designs and everything here. Let's clear that. I mean, you can see they try to get a little more detailed, or stay as detailed as they can, but still keep everybody looking different in a way, but you'll see similarities. Now, WoW did eventually fix theirs and add more detail, especially in their armors and weapons and people. But the job I got right now is a Dark Knight, which you get eventually. I guess it was in the first part of the game. But you start off. Turn this back on, because I started off as a warrior originally. Now, when I was coming back into the game, I boosted myself to 78. I had already gone through the original, except for the second part of it, which I didn't realize there was a second part till after I did it. But there's like other jobs, just the gladiator, warrior, you can get it right off the bat. Those are tank jobs, just like the Dark Knight is. Gunbreaker is another tank job. This guy here, I believe, I forget what he turns into, because this actually starts off as warrior, or no, marauder, and it becomes warrior. And I think gladiators becomes paladin, if I remember correctly. Lancer becomes a dragoon. Rogue becomes a ninja. Now the samurai, that stays a samurai because I came in the last expansion. Reaper is brand new. It's on the current expansion, which I want to get. Because during my time in 11, a Dark Knight was not a tank job. It was DPS. And you can either use a sai or a two-handed sword like this. I think you could also use a sword and shield too. I can't remember though. But in this game, you can be all these jobs. All you have to do is switch out your weapon, because this will change me. I equip that, now becoming the Marauder. That's how easy it is. I got gear lists here too that I could just switch over. These are crafting ones. Blacksmith, mining. I do not do healing. It does look pretty good. Some of their designs are really nice, and a lot of them are just like, no. The way this armor is, you see these little pluses? It's called Glamour, which is kind of like WoW, the version of WoW's, oh crap, I forgot the word now. Transmog, that's it. In which you can make your gear look like that. Which I finally got it set up to where I can keep doing this. Not recommended gear. Glamour plate. Which, whatever gear I'm wearing, which everybody's got specific gear, you can read on the side there underneath the item level. It says like GLA, Gladiator, Marauder, Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, Gunblade. I can change it into any of this. All I gotta do is click apply now. That took me a minute to get that up. I hope to eventually do some fighting here so you can see some of the abilities I can do. friend of mine had actually bought me the Dark Knight job once before, but the game kept crashing. Yeah, exactly. That's where they got the idea.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here. Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough.
Broke as shit.
Each nation once minted its own coins, but 'twas all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough, not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower. Some of which may be familiar to you.
It is neat. I was always saying during Final Fantasy XI, the only thing that kept it for me personally as a perfect game, I couldn't jump. This game you can jump. What the hell? What's he shaking his head for? Wait.
But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your home world. Van Kerm Sin?
Yes, I'm here. Of course I'm here. What amusements do you have for me today?
My dear Feo Ool, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine gentleman is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from his home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
Of course, the only real downfall to 11 was a lot of menus and timing.
Beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift. How wonderfully exciting. What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did. You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin. But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth, your nails?
Yeah.
Just as I thought. Then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isnefis, and you my Snay Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other. Raise your hand.
High five.
'Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
It is not my voice. It is the game.
Mayhap a message to your friends in the source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Yeah, we'll go with Tataru.
Consider it done.
I can't get that high pitch.
As you heard, that was Feo Ool of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium. Right, we were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
Yeah, I can't raise my voice that high. And sometimes even grumbling some voices messes with me. Since I had COVID, it's still a little iffy on my breathing. But I'm still good. Yeah, there is PvP. Let me show. I think it's no, not that one. Not that one. Yeah, they got PvP. I don't really do it much. And there are raids eventually. I just haven't gotten into them because I think they need like... You can just search or join a group. These are just the earlier ones. I don't know why I don't have any others. But... Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to do. This one here, well, if you ever get on here, in the beginning of it, your first 50 leveling, it's going to take it's a bit of a grind. It really is a bit of a grind. But once you start getting into the flow, especially when you get into Heaven's Ward, see, I'm at 72, and when this came out, you're only supposed to be at 70. The cap right now is 90. So... And I will be up at 80 before I'm even done with the main storyline. I think I'll be past 80 by the time I get through the like major portion of the storyline, and then you go into the secondary stories afterwards. So once you get past that first hump of the leveling process, it does become much easier. Like I said, the only thing missing in Final Fantasy XI was jumping. Now, it's not like open world PvP. You have to go to, I think you have to go into certain areas for that. But like I said, I don't really get into PvP on this one much. And there you are. As I finalize the matter of your accommodation, you'll have a private room here at Dependence for the duration of your stay. Make yourself as you see fit. Read the entire manager, show your lodgings, pray, and recuperate. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. They do a lot of thinking too. Metal, we are denied a comforting blanket at night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. Dude, this is the thing. In this world, there is no darkness. It is just all light. Can you imagine trying to sleep when it's light 24/7? Yeah, I want to see if there's something in here. Let's see if the log stuff is in here. Because I know there's one in the inn at the other... Oh, yeah, it is. That's the glamour mirror. You. Oh, hello. Yep, that's him. It's the Warrior of Light from the last.
I know you. You're the Warrior of Light from the Source.
True.
Did you just... You can hear me? Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The Warrior of Darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the source, a daft one, looking back. If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source and tried to hasten their God's damned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the first. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrand. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness.
Ah, that's who it was.
Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood? 100 years. 100 long years. My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that?
Well, you see, I was yanked over here by this weird dude in a giant crystal castle. That's how they explain. Quick Time explains.
You were summoned to save the first. Waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who try to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
The armor this guy is wearing, that's the armor you can get once you get your Marauder up to 50 and he becomes a warrior. I wish I could have had it back. When I did the level skip, I couldn't get that. Instead, I got something more powerful armor at level 70, but still. I wanted to just go to 50, but they didn't have it available at the time I wanted to purchase. I don't really want to leave my room yet. Damn it. I wanted to show you just... I want to go back into the room. Yeah, I want to go back in there. I want to see if... Perfect bed, the unending journey. Ah, there it is. This here shows you all the, so if you skip levels, you didn't get that arm. No, I didn't. There might be a way to get it. I just haven't really looked into it too much. But anyway, this is where you can see, this is like all the cutscenes, whether it's be the one with voices that you heard or just them part of the game. This is the beginning right here. This is where this is where I originally ended. And then this is the second part of it, in which there's a lot more that goes on. I skipped this whole section right here. My started, it would be known as the Heaven's Ward, this one. This is where I started playing the game again. Now my character was already at 70, but you have to go to Ishgard to get the Dark Knight job. And I got it. And so I spent all the time leveling it up until I reached level 50 at least. And then I started doing all the main quests. Like I said, it brings you all the way up to level 60. By the time I got to this part of Heaven's Ward, I was already above 60. I was like 62. And then Dragon Song is still part of the Heaven's Ward expansion. It's the ending of it, in which you go through all this. Then the next one is, well, then there's everybody talking after all this shit. Then you got Stormblood, in which in that expansion you were freeing this one city-state called Alamigo, and then there was another one you eventually free as Doma, which they all become intertwined. And, you know, when I got to here, I was already 70. 71, I think it was. Now, here's the other thing. Whenever you do the dungeons or... yeah, at least the dungeons, they level cap it. They don't, it's not like in WoW where you can just go in by yourself on a lower level dungeon and wipe everything out really quick. No, they make you work for it. They make you work for it. And then, of course, there's the post. These are all the ones I did after. And then this is where I'm at right now. I've looked ahead a little bit. As you can see, there's a good bit of missions or a good bit of quests to do. A lot of this is just cutscenes because it's the main storyline. And Endwalker, I can't even start yet because I'm not there. What's this? Oh, this is just like side stuff I've done. Not very many. This is the Axe and the Stone. This is where you become a marauder. And you could already choose it at the beginning. Let's see. Okay, that was all marauders. Maybe I can still get it. I just gotta go through all those quests again. Maybe on a downtime day I'll do that. Oh, it is deep, dude. From what I've been told, the storyline of Shadowbringers is really, really good. Now, Stormbloods was already good, was really good to me. But Shadowbringers, from what I've been told, it's got a really great storyline. I haven't really heard too much of Endwalker. I'm trying to stay away from it. I follow a couple people that have already done the main storyline, but I'm not looking up any information on it. And plus, when I get to... I already attuned to that. Once I get the Reaper job, I'm going to be switching to that eventually. But I was told the Reaper job is not until, like, really deep into this expansion. Yeah, a little bit more time. But, yeah. They do go in really deep. They get a lot of really good details and story into this. Why do I not have that? I need to put that in this. Whoops. Didn't mean to hit that. I need to put that here. There we go. No. Every single Final Fantasy game, unless it says it is a direct sequel to it, they are all standalone. There's nothing you really need to know from previous games. These are all standalone stories. Now you'll see similarities. You weren't here at the beginning, but there's at least 3 characters I've seen. Their names are in every single Final Fantasy. Biggs and Wedge and Cid. Those 3 names are in every single game. Cid is always an engineer, especially involving airships. Biggs and Wedge are different in everything. In this expansion, they are guys that work with Cid, constructing airships or working, I think they're called the Ironworks. They're like his pupils. And another one, what was it? I know in... Final Fantasy VIII. They were 2 soldiers of the Garland Empire. I think, or was it? I can't remember what the heck the Empire's name in that one. There's always an empire, though. But yeah, there's been a Biggs and Wedge and Cid in every game.
How did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest.
I want to tell him this.
I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know.
He probably doesn't know about that guy.
Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Northrend, the only area to be spared the flood of light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Ilmeg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty.
Well, duh.
As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulm, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness.
Why is that not a shocker?
For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armarang. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe.
It's not bad. It is a monthly fee, though, too.
So, will it be Calicia or Armarang? It matters not which you choose to visit first.
Yeah, that should be everything up to Shadowbringer, right?
You are provided with a suitable mount. But you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
Yeah, Endwalker is the current expansion. But I think if it's just Endwalker and it doesn't involve the previous ones, you won't be able to play it because you need the previous ones. And I think that's all kind of separate. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Dude, I'm going to... Oh, shit, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that they did suspend new purchases because there was too many people. This is why I'm logging in at this time. This is the time for me that I can log on. If I were to try to log in at night, I could wait for an hour or never. Because one night the queue was like 4,725. And that's like 3 or 4 hours of waiting. One night I didn't have anything else to do, so it was... My queue at one night was only like 1,167. And I waited an hour before I could get on. So this really is the only time I can do this. And now there was one day in which I was in my house all day and I was just playing it. That's because I was trying to finish up the Stormblood storyline. I got through a shit ton that day and I was on it all day. Never disconnected, which was rare. I'm gonna go for Alize. She was the last one I saw. She impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her showing. I'm sorry, Skirmitar. I'm really sorry. They're working on it. It's mostly because of the shit that Activision Blizzard pulled. And the crap of their expansion in WoW that pissed everybody off. Dude, I haven't even played WoW in almost 2 months. That's the longest I have never played that game. I haven't even logged on. And it was fun doing it for a time. But this last expansion, it was pretty crappy. It started off really strong, but then it just fizzled out. The story sucks. A lot of the lore guys of World of Warcraft, they hate it. They're hating it right now. They do not like the way that this is going. There was one dude, what's his name? Pyromancer. He was a big, deep lore guy. Really into the game and its lore. And then when all the accusations and everything, I guess he had like a freaking meltdown online one day. And he hasn't even played the game since. And he started playing Final Fantasy XIV. He's been enjoying it. There are a few who know the ways it does. Okay. Oh, I can start either one of them. Okay, I'll get that one too. Blah, 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 blah. Music is a little more rock. I can't believe, I'm sorry, Screamatar, I can't believe I forgot that. We'll call it a brain fart. Alright. So... No, I want to go Alize. So I need to go this way. No, originally when I first started playing WoW, it was the Burning Crusade expansion, so it was the first one. But I was on dial-up at the time, when I was still living with my parents, and so I couldn't play it. Every time there was an update, it would take my computer like 2 weeks, all through the night, of downloading information. And I went back to 11 only. And then the Wrath of the Lich King expansion was out. And a friend of mine, a real life friend of mine, he got me I was able to go to his place and download any of the big patches of information I need to put on my computer at the time. And then I was eventually able to play WoW on my dial-up. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, my compass disappeared. When I officially... Hold on.
From this parched earth, the nation of Nabath, Arang once rose. When I journeyed here, long ago, I spoke with a sun-weathered elder. He told me Armarang meant majestic land in the language of his people. And so it might still be, were it not for the light's unrelenting onslaught.
Yeah, when I really came back into WoW, it was December of 2009. Oh yeah, everything's beautiful here. And up until, which expansion was it I struggled? Oh, it was the Warlords of Draenor expansion. Because that time, I was with my wife. We were in an apartment. We were taking care of the kids. I was working a couple of jobs, so it was hard for me to play back then. Then we moved into the house I'm in right now. Played Legion. And I put a shit ton of time in that one. Dude, I was with several different guilds. The first guild I was really with, I didn't really get to raid because on the nights they raid, I was bowling. I used to bowl 3 nights a week, then a couple nights a week. Now I don't even do it anymore, unfortunately. It's been about 4 years now. And then I got to a point, I got joined one guild, which I was like top DPS and everything because where I was with my gear and abilities, the previous guild I was with, I would be considered mediocre. That's how good the guild I was once, that I was running around, that I was just kind of casually running around with. These guys were a group that were pushing to beat, like, during Wrath of the Lich King, to beat the Lich King on heroic. They were really pushing it. They went, my friend, they were going until about 4 in the morning before the reset, trying to take him down. I think it was more on normal than it was on, because that's how hard he used to be. It wasn't just merely it was a DPS check, it was knowing the mechanics, it was getting ready, it was doing everything right, and it was a hard push back then. Now, some of the bosses today, some of it's just downright unfair, because it's just like you make one slither of a little mistake, just one little mistake, and you wipe your entire group. And that was really ticking people off too. I didn't even get a full a heroic run of the last raid of WoW. I was hoping to do it, and then yeah, well, my real life friend I was telling you about, before this last couple of years, he averaged about 40 hours a week on it. He's got almost 2 full years on one tune. No joke. Game time played. He's got almost 2 years on it. And he was playing, I think he came in late on vanilla. I think it was more like early Burning Crusade. I can't remember entirely. But yeah, he was averaging about 40 hours a week playing that game. Every night. Just about every night. And he's got 2 kids now. His job that I used to work at, in which I had to leave because I didn't want to get the jab. He's working a lot of hours there right now because he can't get people, because a lot of times it falls through. It's like it comes up, "Are you vaccinated?" And they say no. It's like, well, then they can't take you. Not that it fucking matters. But I mean, he's even stopped playing it. I don't even know if he's on the computer much anymore, because with our times being so different, and since he's got his job he has to worry about, because he's usually there at like 8 or 9 in the morning, and he'll be there till almost 6:30 at night, and he's the boss. He only gets paid for the set of hours that he gets paid for. He doesn't get overtime, which sucks for him. He is a really good guy. He is a really good guy. He will definitely be 100% honest with you. He doesn't sugarcoat shit. It's like, if you fucked up, he'll tell you fucked up. May even yell at you about it. But and in all respects to him, especially on the starting server we were on, he was a warrior tank, and I think he was like one of the top warrior tanks on the server. He knew what he was doing. Yeah, he put a lot of time into it. He definitely knew how to tank. I don't know how to tank very well in that game, or didn't know, so I was more DPS. Now, Final Fantasy, I've tanked in 11, and I'm on a tanking job right now. So, but I do miss DPSing, being able to run all over the place and not have to worry about some things. Commander Cold never fails to catch me off guard. The sky may be bright and scorching hours. Oh, hold on, I got a phone call. Sorry about that. Wife called. But there's a fair adult distance, so I probably wouldn't make it stop. I'm good. Okay. Alright, a lot. I'm off, and I better see. Do not see goods covered in sand when I get back. Oh. When WoW came out, I just finished high school. It was a perfect time to dive deep in the game. Yeah. Oh god, dude. Definitely for a couple expansions, they did not make that alt friendly for a while. Putting in double time to get alts freaking suck. Can I get them like, there we go. Getting into alts was like another chore that I got tired of doing. It's like, I don't want to do it. So this is the neat thing about this game. You are all your alts. Like I said, like I told you earlier, switching between them is easy. I forget how long they said it was going to be before they bring the sales back on. Hopefully it won't be too long for wait. Oh, hold on. I need this. Collect all these and most of them, and I can be able to start flying in here. Where am I? Here we are. They knocked it down a lot. But shit, what was I talking about? Oh, alts. Yeah. And when I can't remember when they said they were going to have it back open again. I think they're trying to get more servers active, so that way they can mitigate the large queue times and knock them down so people can enjoy the game. Which I watched a video about this guy, Akalon, I think is his name. He is another WoW lore enthusiast, and I don't know if he still plays, but his last video, I think he titled it "Blizzard Just Saved WoW," and he shows the contradiction, the difference between Square Enix, which is Final Fantasy, and Activision Blizzard. Was Square Enix, they ran into the problem of large queues, so they stopped selling the game until they can get that problem fixed. In which even the director apologized and was really sorry about all this, because they want people to enjoy the game. They don't want people to be sitting or started at the beginning of the day and then log on at the end of the night, by the end of the night. But anyway, Blizzard's response was putting a pet on the pay store as their latest thing. These freaking idiots. I knew. Dude, I knew. Back when I saw that Activision and Blizzard became partners, I knew there was going to be a problem. Because Blizzard, before then, was about quality. They made sure everything was working to at least the best that they could. They didn't take as many shortcuts. They were making sure the game ran as best as it can. Now, all it is like Activision. It's just Activision now. I don't think there's anybody from the original Blizzard team left anymore. I think they're all gone. Whether it be because of because of all the accusations, or because of just creative difference. Activision wanted their people in, they got their people in, and the game has gone downhill. It's not as much fun as it used to be. It's not as engaging. The stories suck. The grinds are even worse than what they used to be. And they put every cool thing you want onto a store. You have to buy it with real life money, as opposed to actually grinding stuff out or building stuff, doing it the way you would in real life. And it's finally biting them in the ass. It took them a long time, but I think definitely from Warlords of Draenor on, they've been definitely screwing up. Now they piqued everyone's interest back in Legion, and they were hoping Battle for Azeroth would be better, but its start was okay, and then it just fizzled out. I definitely tuned out a lot during Battle for Azeroth. It was not... I mean, a lot of the aesthetic was beautiful. A lot of the artwork was nice. But story-wise, engagement, it just kind of pissed me off. And it was the start for a lot of people. I mean, they lost a lot of people at the beginning of that, and then they brought back Classic, which a lot of people were going for that. I really wanted to keep going on it, but I had so much time invested in retail that I couldn't keep up with Classic. So, and I heard it, and recently they brought what was known as, I think it was Mastery, which was, oh shit. Alright. I wasn't paying attention. Got too close. Which is weird because I was standing there. Okay. But yeah. There's a guy that still plays. He plays at least the classic servers. Crucial. His videos are freaking entertaining as hell. He's got also another channel called Justinian, in which he was playing other games on Ed. Like, one was Dead by Daylight, playing with his friends or by himself. I mean, yeah, he only puts out like one video a week or something like that. But if you look at all the editing he does in that, you would understand why it takes him forever to put a video out. But they're entertaining as hell and it's funny as fuck. I think tomorrow I'll set up my green screen so you can see my face. My lovely face. I gotta figure out a quicker way of setting it up. That Shadow Fortress meant to protect the northern reaches of Nabathar. Can you DM later his channel? Ooh, yeah, hold on. Actually, let me do that right now. Let me do it. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. There. That's Crucial's channel. He does have other older WoW content, and he did some like background videos, side stories, and stuff like that. I mean, could choose a community these days, not with everything in ruins. Even the hulking Great Fortress has become little more than an outpost for me and my caravan. But not everywhere is as deserted as this place. Just wait until you see more suck. Let's press on, shall we? Actually, if I remember, his channel used to be called Hellscream. I don't know why he had to change it. I wonder if someone from Blizzard tried to copyright him or something. Yeah, dude, his stuff is really funny. The shenanigans him and his friends get into is hilarious. Now, I will say, I think it was on the latest video. Dude, he... I won't ruin it. You'll have to watch it. You'll have to watch it. You'll definitely like it. Off by the blessed shadow. I love this town. You see the experience points? It's just like 216. Once you get past the main like expansion story, that like gets cut in half. I mean, it's just it's a small amount because originally it was just, you know, once you hit the cap, that was it. I'm going to go until at least I find Alizé, and then then I'll probably quit. There's 2 floods. So the population is nothing if not diverse. Millard, yeah. 450 bladers. And a more welcome lot you could ever wish to meet. Speaking of which, we should pay our respects to Master Jen? Probably. I'll go ahead and let him know you've arrived. There's Genjin. There's a nut. Oh, these are like the goblins. Oh, this is traveling dude, isn't it? Yep. What am I doing? Why am I walking? Must attune. I'll watch that later, Skarmatar. They're not as ugly. Kobold.
Master Gengen, this is the friend of the Exarch I was telling you about.
Very good, very good. Though friend or no, all are welcome in Mord's.
Souk.
Souk is Mordish for city. As things stand, this souk boasts the largest and busiest marketplace in all Armorang. You'll find ore from the mines here, of course, but all manner of other things too. Many of them rare.
What? God. Let me guess. Anyone that says you can't spread it?
As I told you before, not many visit Armorang by choice, but Mord Souk's
Or
a
can
different
spread it.
story. Merchants come from miles around to purchase the relics the Mord dig up.
Careful, kitty.
Aye, that they do. For Mords do not dismiss the spoils of the earth. We clean them and polish them and reveal to the world their true value.
Just
That
don't
is why
hit my
they
keyboard.
Come here, come from far away, come with much money.
My cat jumped up here. One of my cats. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen.
And so our souk is always busy, busy, busy. No such thing as a thing no one needs.
You say that every time, Master Gengen. Some sort of family motto, wasn't it? Or perhaps a Mord philosophy. for which we should all be very grateful. Would that everyone was so willing to take in refugees regardless of race or creed. Now then, if you intend to spend any time here, you'll want to gain the trust of the locals. And there's a little custom all newcomers are expected to observe.
The cracking of the coin purse. You buy one thing from the market. Price can be low or high, just as long as you buy.
As the good Maud says. In fact, the Exarch sent a little something to cover this very expense. A Verbert gold piece, no less. The first I've held in years.
Verbert gold? Real Verbert gold?
Run. Run!
Here, newcomer, crack your coin purse with me.
Oh no, you want my goods, newcomer? I have jars and pots all smooth and shiny.
Over here! Come and look!
You buy,
Enough of that! Calm, I say! This one must still journey through the barrens. Nothing bulky, nothing heavy, no pots. Nothing better for the road than a full belly. Spend that piece at Ronron's place, yes? Eat for 3 before you leave.
Yep. Wife's calling. Be right back. Okay. Take your time, stare and sniff before you choose, but no drooling on the merchandise. Worms. Yummy. Plump white worms slathered in honey. Once you eat a glazed ring, you'll never want any other treat. It probably will kill you. Interesting bread. Call this mush loaf. The middle is stuffed with bittersweet cactus fruits, so even if the bread dries out, it's still moist inside. Keeps you going in the heat. It's actually not a bad idea. That's my ever-burning bounty, made with the best parts of the lizard, cured with special spicy spices. Some find the smell challenging, but it'll warm you up on chilly desert nights. What the heck? It skewers. Yeah! You know, you'll like these. Chewy skewers find small frogs hiding under rocks, spear with stick, then roast over with fire, crackling on the outside, gooey on the inside. Yummy. All that sounds wonderful. Yeah. Give me the mush loaf. Yeah, I'll go mush loaf. You're gonna be out in the... What, frogs? No. One farmer honor buys you 40 loaves of bread. Look, Comcast is trying to call me. Yeah, fuck off. I'm not gonna leave a message, I ain't gonna listen. I answered a call. Comcast is the internet provider. And all that happened... What the hell happened? We eat the life. Yeah, let's share the rest. Yep. Probably tried to eat too many. I bet that would have happened no matter what. Oop. My cat's sitting in front of me now. She's right beside my keyboard. Apparently. Your honor our custom with great relish. You will always be welcome to Mark Suck. If you need anything in Amarang, we are here to provide. Okay. Just want to get to Alizé before my wife shows up. Courage, my friend. Ron's wares are more exotic than harmful, but I don't envy you the bellyache you'll have on the morrow. Right, now that you've eaten, I expect your ego to get back on the road. Would you mind if we delayed our departure a touch? I have a few deals left to close before I conclude. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Sure, whatever. Offering your services REI well, and an assistant will certainly help hurry things out along. A receipt here of goods picking up from the market all properly paid for. You just need to do the lifting and carrying. Yep, you'll do this a lot too. Alright. Key items. Okay, what am I looking for? Table cactus iron ore. Thonton Thol. Mill to be collected from Mol. KK? I need to look at that list again. Okay. Thonthol. Okay. Thonthol. Mol. Toltol. Koltol. Sholtol. Let's see here. Zinzin. Crate of armaments. Ah! Crate of ore. Right, yes. What kind of ore was it? Iron. Of course, that would explain this box I have here. It's all yours. Okay. Not that one. Let's see. Table cactus. Nath Arag Antiques. Okay. Whoop. It's alright. I am still getting used to some of these controls half the time. Who's over here? I saw someone over here. Nope. I do not have very many mounts, actually. Let me... This is all I have. This one I bought. This one came, I think, when I bought the expansion up to Shadowbringer. This one here I actually got at the conclusion of the entire Stormblood storylines, the whole expansion. And this guy shows up during Heaven's Ward near the end of it. I forget where I got this thing. It's in the game. This one's part of the game. This one you get like near the beginning as well. This one you get it in the game. You get that one during Stormblood when you're trying to free Doma. So realistically, these two are the only ones I actually purchased. The rest of these I got in the game. Now there are others you can collect. I'm just not in the collecting mood right now since I'm basically behind on everything like I usually am in these games. Oh, there you are. Tauntaun. And then Zolzol. Momo. There we go. I wanted a bike, that's why I spent the money. I mean, don't tell you it's better. That's a lot. All right, good work. And quick work too, considering you've just not set foot in the place before. I thought you'd want to sit in a city like the XR, but something tells me you're no stranger to visiting strange lands. Fortunately, your efficiency presents something of a problem. I'd hope to conclude all my business before you return, but it seems there's been some confusion over one of the orders I placed. I have to drag in my middleman and sort this mess out. I'm sorry to make you sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Cassad, it feels like an age since I last saw you. Oh, little girl. Well, if it isn't a lovely Teslin. I'm guessing that's how you say her name. It's been a while, but your timing couldn't be better. This gentleman was on his way to meet Alize. I'm supposed to be taking him to your corner of the desert, but a misplaced order has commandeered my attention. I know who you are. Alize has told me so much about you. You're metal, aren't you? Okay, what gave it away? The big sword? Knew it. I wonderful to meet you in the flesh after hearing all those stories. Teslin, I work as a carer at the inn, and I've gotten to know Alize quite well since she took up guard duties there. Do you want me to take over as Metal's guide, Cassard? My shopping's all done and packed to far the road, so it would be no trouble. That would be a great help, thank you. Well, it looks like you'll be able to head straight out after all. My caravan and I will be in the area for a while. Seek me out when you've had your fill of Amarag, and I'll send you back to the Crystarium. I will eventually learn these words, and I will eventually learn how to speak again. Eventually. And I'm up to 73. Alright. The end isn't too hard to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. You just need to swing around the ridge, then head south. Come on, I'll get my supplies together and meet you outside. Okay. Let me first take care of that. I wonder what this gear looks like. Actually, I'm curious. I want to know what this gear looks like. Try on. Huh. What's the last thing I got? Curious? No, that's not it. Hold on, sort. That wasn't it. I got too much crap. I thought I'd sorted all this out, but I didn't. Oh well, screw it. I don't even know what it looks like. Woody? I don't know. I never really. It doesn't. I mean, it's Japanese. You might like it. So then we'll leave you be if you keep your distance. Local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. I can usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I may have loaded myself down too many bargains today. Yeah, I think I can handle them just fine. How much? I mean, let's get going, shall we? How much I like the what? How much I like what? Oh, finish your sentence, lady. Hey, no fair. You've been in this game. Fly away from me. Hey, giant turtle. And here we go. It seems I'd always thought Alicia was strong, but in her mind, she was never. No. Now it makes sense. While we should push on, it might be best if you scout ahead and clear out any coyotes. Without any distractions. Oh, of course. You just sit there, and I'll take care of all the baddies. Try to avoid these things as much as possible. For me, it's like a distraction. I mean, like these ones. This is part of the journey. I'm gonna get hit. Ah, dang, I'm gonna be fighting someone else's stuff. Ah, well, screw it. I'll help him out. Not that the guy needs it. That dude's a reaper. Yeah, I know, it took a while, but we got it. What's the thing when I'm just doing a main storyline? I'm just going through the story, I'm not really fighting all that much. So it feels like I'm just getting cheap EXP. But once you get into like dungeons and stuff, that's when some things really get interesting. rest of any work and none of the voice now. And keep the supplies back at the end. Okay, well, that's fun. Super invincible cat. Right now, like I said, I'm trying to avoid these guys just to get through the story. I just want to get to Alizé, and then I'm probably going to call it. So my wife will be home eventually. Don't have to drop my shopping even once. Come to think of it, I'm glad I didn't make the trip alone. Seems you ended up escorting me. I'll have to repay the favor somehow, but first let's head inside. Yep, cutscene. Oh, the neat thing is when you're fighting, you seen the little like orange squares that showed up on the bottom. So long as you're out of it, when it disappears, you can go right back to where it was and you get no damage. So long as you're out of it by the time they execute. The end of journey's head, you might be our first visitor from the Crystarium since Alizé arrived. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carriers. The afflicted? Yeah, what's going on? No. I don't think I've met anyone besides Alizé who was so unfamiliar with our situation here. Most folks have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. I might leave out something obvious, so it may be the best to have Alizé give you the full explanation. Worse. Can I at least attune myself to the Aetherite, please? No, we're going straight to her, aren't we? Nope. Okay, good. Always important. Nope. Alright. Where is she? Might be out on patrol. You could wait, I suppose, but why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first, so you might be able to catch her there. It's not far. Head out the south side, and soon you'll see it. I'll stay behind in case she comes back while you're gone. Yeah. Whoa. Dude. Damn. Talk about holding it back. Oh, yep. Aetherite. Aether. Seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the... Really? Small mountains, yeah. I hardly ever use my defensive cooldowns on. I feel like I should be using them more often, but I don't. Music's definitely more actiony. Bunches of these guys now. Yep. Oh, all right. You want to die so bad. Thing is, I know my gear's a little high on this because it's augmented. I mean, I'm 73, but my gear is at 70. This is the armor I got when I purchased my warrior up to 70. That's the armor they gave me. And it wasn't until I finally reached back to 70 that I got it back. Don't you interrupt me. Oh, here we go. Nah. Or the Sin Eater.
Get back here!
There she is.
Is that... It can't be.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about. I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner. How are you?
It's like, actually, you've only been knocked out for about a week.
We fought them to a standstill then. The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where one would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. Nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters.
Yep.
That great wall of white is a remnant of the flood. 100
100 years ago, the balance in the first tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects. But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations.
Facial expressions.
Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the flood. Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach. But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether, and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct, that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason. Which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them.
It might be hard to do if it's people that were turned into that or other living creatures.
Full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Ah, the affliction. That's what they were talking about. It's a matter of time, more, some, less for others. As patients will all become monsters in the end. And then, to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society, and exiled here to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say is that about this hellish place is that it has served me well and is a training ground. Teslin and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you while you help me finish my patrol, of course. Of course I gotta finish the patrol! Alright, we'll finish this patrol, which will probably take 15 minutes to— oh god, it's gonna take a while. Alright, here's what we'll do. I'll take the east side of the inn, you clear the west. That way you can have an undiluted experience with the resident terrors. These marks on your map are where the usual trouble spots are. You can assume that any beast with a white hide or carapace is a Sin Eater, but you'll know for sure enough when they come slithering after your ether. Remember, let's kill or be killed with these monsters! Once you've slain whatever's prowling around out there, we can rendezvous back at the north entrance. Good hunting. Where's my nod? I didn't do my nod! Damn it. I was supposed to nod. Deny me my nod. If you ever get, whenever you get onto this game, Scimitar, trust me, you'll see a lot of nodding during Heaven's Ward. A lot. Freaking hilarious. No. Forgiven cowardice. Huh. Didn't realize that was a sin. What's it? I hit harder than you. Oh, right, I'm 3 levels higher. Whoops. I knew that. Oh. Okay. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll run into a bigger one. There's, come on. Okay, well, that was quick. Nope. Sorry, I was looking at something. How did you fare? Well, I killed 2 out of 3. I thought there might be 1 or 2 lurking in the fringes, nothing out of the ordinary for this area. I expect you noticed it yourself, but individually, these lesser sin eaters are no more deadly than any natural predator you may encounter in the desert. It's when they appear in numbers that they pose a threat. Much like the void scent, they have an unfortunate tendency to flock to the strongest of their kind. Thus, when a powerful sin eater goes on a hunt, it might be attended by a veritable swarm of weaker kin. Imagine an army of creatures descending on a village or hamlet. That's the basic idea behind my patrols, to cull their ranks often enough that their numbers won't be overwhelming when the big ones come out to play, and they're certainly helped on that front. Let's report our victories to Teslan. Yeah. Victory! Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what this button does. This. Some of these helmets, they have visors that can go up and down. I just keep this up because you can see his facial expressions. Especially during cutscenes. Otherwise, you're just looking at a blank face. As he told me, you helped out on our patrol. You have my thanks and my apologies for leading you from one battle to another ever since the moment we met. In any case, I'm glad to see the two of you found each other. You have no idea how badly Alize has missed your company. Everything is always, if Metal were here, he would... That's an exaggeration. I don't sound like that either. I was simply trying to view matters from... Oh, be quiet! They heard a dog bark. Honestly, after seeing him in action, I can understand why. The way he leaps into the fray without hesitation, it really is something to behold. I might be a little smitten myself. Shelby! Shelby! Calm down. Go lay down. I'll let you out in a minute. Gasp. Give me a minute. Go wait by the door. Okay, I'll be right back. No, I'm not the pack leader, but I've been getting them outside more often. She doesn't listen to the mom either. My wife gets home, she just wants to cuddle up to her all the time. Okay. Alright. This is where I'm going to call it. It's a nice little stopping place. Oh, now I got headgear. Let's see what that looks like. Fuck. That's antlers. Look at the freaking helmet. Look. You're. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh man. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Alright, Scimitar, you get some sleep, dude. Thanks for being around, man. Definitely makes this a little more enjoyable. You take care, dude. Alright. Alright, have a good night, Scimitar. I'll catch you later, man.